We're here with a special guest. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
No, it's my pleasure.
I wanted to know, if you could tell the listeners who you are, a bio about yourself. Let them.
Who I am. That's like that's the ever going question, right?
Right.
Do we ever know the answer to that?
I kind of do. Like me, a founder of Amor Pride. It's a French word that means self-love and self-respect. And yeah, it's a brand that I started that has an anti-bullying campaign. And with the campaign, I have to do school assemblies and this podcast. So pretty much who I am. And it's only because I got bullied a lot, and it's my way of being proactive and taking a bad situation and making
it positive.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's part of who you are.
Yeah,
there are things I've already picked up on, and since being here with you, that you're way more than that. But that's honorable.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much who I am. And then I have my family life and my personal life, and I have a girlfriend, and about to get married. So that's.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's in the works
so
right
now. You kind of keep that separate. See, when I think of who am I, it's like that. It's a whole being.
Right.
All.
Right. So,
how do you separate it? See, I could sit here and interview all day long.
I don't really separate it. If you listen to my other podcast, I always talk about her. Her name's Christina. My dad was here last week, so
you share. So you
yeah, exactly. And he hangs out with us. So does my family. I hang out with her family. She has 4 nieces, and they always come over for dinner and stuff. So yeah.
Wait, how old are you?
34.
Amazing.
So,
good age to get married.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've been through a lot, so it's I know exactly what I want, and this is what I want. Yeah.
You're a good man.
Thank you. So,
So who am I?
Yeah, that's kind of who I am.
It's interesting. So I used to say, just even the key words that speak to who am I would be, first a sober woman. So that would be accepting God or the universe as my higher power.
Right.
Spiritual being. I would say trapped in this human form. I would say mom. Because being a mom is very different than not having children.
Right. How is that?
It's very interesting. You get to see life through their eyes, through their pain, or you're transferring your own onto them, which doesn't even exist within them, but you must think it's someplace, some level it does. And caring for, teens who act like they don't truly give a shit about you is really a difficult task.
I know. That's crazy. Yeah.
But good luck, because you'll be there one day.
Right. I always see movies or people that do have children. They're always man, it's a lot harder than you think. Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very honest and just open and truthful always with everyone. So even with my kids, I don't BS and I don't hide things, and they know probably a lot more than other kids at their age, I don't want to say should, but do.
Right.
And I think it prepares them for what this life is really about.
How many kids do you have?
2. 2's enough.
How old are they?
My daughter's 14.
Oh,
She just recently changed her name in court.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's like, Mom, we have to go to court tomorrow. I'm like, really? Why?
Why'd she do
because
that?
She didn't like the name that I gave her.
How'd that make you feel?
It hurt my feelings. It really hurt my feelings. And then I thought to myself, okay, she's 14, just let her grow up. And then on the way to court, she then told me she was also getting rid of her middle name. That was my sister's name. And my sister I lost in 2002 to an overdose. And so then I was like, you little witch. And then I just had to laugh.
Right.
Because it's her figuring out herself. And not for me to, judge or hold on to. I'm always the first one to be like, what's in a name,
Right.
There could be a lot in a name, and yet if she chooses to change that, then I think it's great. But it did hurt my feelings for a minute.
Right. So I was going to get straight to it with this podcast, which is definitely about anti-bullying and self-love. So my first question is going to be do you have a story in life that you got bullied and you learned from it that you feel comfortable sharing?
Oh, I'm comfortable sharing for sure.
like a more of like a particular story than a broad one. Like I got bullied like a lot for being like overweight.
Well, that would be my story too.
Awesome. Would love to hear that. What
I
age
think that
you
kind
were, when it happened, what time in your life.
So I was, around 9-ish is when I started getting pudgy.
Right, I started doing that like 18. That's when, and like through 18 is when I really got like really big. But it started happening like, the little side comments like, be quiet, fat boy, or something around like ninth grade. Or just happening little and little. And then I didn't kind of like, during that age, it wasn't like during social media. Like now we always take pictures and videos of each other. Back then it was like, I never saw what I looked like, and I wasn't like looking in the mirror. And it's funny that not until I was like 18, a year out of high school, my sister was going to San Diego State, and she was like, for a project in school, she was like, let me take a picture of you for something of a family thing. And it was on Polaroids. And then after they were just at the house, and I picked it up, and I was like, whoa.
What about, well, before your time, we had to drop off the film.
Right.
And a week later, pick it
and
up.
that's when I saw it on the table, and I was like, I gotta make a life change. Even though I was hearing like people say it all the time, like little words, like you're fat, or that's it, they just make fun of me. Like, I guess. But not until I saw that, I was like, whoa, how could I let myself go? But that age when you get out of high school, you think like, I'm an adult, I'm gonna do me. That's when I was really just eating and sleeping, and
So you were just checked out.
Exactly. Now I like gained 100 pounds, and it was like, whoa. Like it was like nothing. Like now,
you obviously took it all up.
Yeah, and it took me a very long time, like years to take it back off, until I started realizing it's better when I never heard the comments no more. Like even I had relationships with girls late into my like 20s where the girl would get mad at me and be like, "Shut up, fat ass," and I'd be like, "In bed, like what?" And then it hit me like, "Wait,
that's just your old stuff."
You gotta. And then I realized it will. And then later I'd tell her like, "Why are you saying this to me?" And she'd be like, "I'm just joking." It's like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
Well, that's what I would say. There's truth to every joke.
Exactly.
A tiny bit of truth.
Exactly. And now that I'm not like overweight, I never hear it. For like the last 10 years, I realized.
But do you still think it?
No, because it's like it's one of those things where it's like.
See, mine is so inbred in who I am from such a young age that.
Really?
Oh yeah, that I will, unless which I do, but when I don't, unless I'm exercising every day and trying to eat as healthy as I can, but that's my struggle. Me and my relationship with food, I'm not good enough. And what I see in the mirror is very different than what others see. But what others see, is it really up to them, or is it how I truly feel? And where did that all cultivate from? So it started as a young age, and coming from a man who was very much someone who loved in his eyes what he thought perfection was to look at, or beauty. And if you didn't look good, then his brand didn't look good. That was the whole concept of what Sassoon meant. And so as his child, he wanted the best for us all.
Wait, hold on. Wait, Sassoon.
Yeah, it's before you were Vidal Sassoon. So he revolutionized hair.
Your dad?
Yeah.
I know that. Wait, hold on. Now I'm trying to think like, wait, there's a huge backstory. That was your father?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's a great.
That must come with a lot of pressure. I'm starting to see, like, what? Wait.
I just was always very humbled.
Household name.
Yes, but I never really. I mean, look, it obviously came with a lot of pressure because my sister's not here anymore, and my brother and I struggle with other things, the certain realities.
Like what?
Well, mine would be like my body image, but I've really worked hard and still do becoming me. So when you say like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Wow, isn't that an ever ongoing question?"
Right, I didn't no idea that was your dad. Well, that's like a real big household name brand. That's crazy.
And that was his journey, and it was beautiful, and his story is incredible and very authentic and true to how he was raised with nothing and turned it into everything.
Yeah.
So that's always something to look at, but that's his story, and I've had to let it be his and not mine. And yet, of course, it trickles over into why I am the way that I am. which in many ways I am honored because he taught me so much.
Would love to hear what he taught you.
I mean, humility and I mean, in ways he taught me to push harder than I probably need to, and I'm always at myself, and I'm always trying to do more, and for being a quiet, self-conscious young girl, really coming out with who I am in reality, and being okay with that. And on the inside, yes, me and my weight issues and the food things struggle, and I'll use the food to keep men away or to keep myself home alone or with the kids, or just because I'm full and I feel maybe a little bloated or whatever. I mean, it's a
yeah. For a guy, which just sounds silly.
No, it doesn't.
Everyone goes through
totally
that,
normal.
Yeah.
If anything, but this is a project that my girlfriend and I just are working on. She's here with us, but it's really important, and it's funny how we got to that first, because I think no matter what size you are, it's somewhere in there where we realize that, me at my size, which is a 0-2, and her at her size now, which, where are you now? 10 coming from a 14, 16?
Starting at everywhere from a 4 to a 22.
22. So, I mean, but we have, that's huge, and where she's at, getting to, which is what I struggle every day, from a 0 to 4. And yet, no matter what size, we think and feel the same way.
Right. No,
but everyone will look at me and be like, oh, what's this girl's problem? She looks da-da-da-da-da. But that's not true. We relate more to one another than, especially on that, well, most issues, but on that topic. So
that's an important topic, because even as
and
a
you
guy,
get it. So as a man, you were.
It would hold me back too when I was like 20 something, and I used to tell my friends, they'd be like not understanding, like, what are you talking about, man? Like, get out the closet. They'd call it get out the closet.
I shouldn't be laughing, but that's
like a lot of my friends growing up, they would say get out. It wasn't like growing up. It was
where were you?
I was in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And they would call it get out the closet, and I used to be like, it was just
So I used to hide food in the closet.
Oh, really?
I would
Mine
come
was
home.
never that bad. Oh. I know this is gonna be a funny story, but Christine's not here, but that's my girlfriend. We're talking about off camera, and just 2 nights ago, she was just like, "You need to not like." Sometimes I like binge eat, and she'll get upset.
Sometimes.
And she'll be like, "Why you don't need to do that?" And it's
you're like, "No, you don't understand."
And it's kind of like weird, because it's like you're eating and you're not hungry.
Oh.
It's like
stuff, whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I'm doing it. Like, why am I eating? I'm not even hungry. And then it'll upset her because I make a mess, and then she has to be
so
like,
you make a mess doing it?
Yeah, it's like what? It's like
so you're in the relationship and you're getting that from her.
But it's like I think I'm at that point in my life where I found that maturity where it's like, yeah, I'm wrong. Damn, that's all I know.
I don't know if it's a wrong or right situation. I think it is what it is, and how you emotionally get to the other side of it. Because I have no one over there unless someone's texting me while I'm doing it, or I reach out and say, hey, this is what I'm about to do.
Right. I do feel like it's like, why am I eating when I'm not hungry?
That's an emotional, but it's not wrong or right. That's an emotional, honestly,
because then I
response to something.
I feel bad about it later. Like, wait, is it just
yeah.
It's like, is it
That's
like
exactly.
bored, or I'm just bored, and it's like.
Well, I don't know. I mean, or is it a sense of self-hatred that
I was very big on self-destruction for a very long time. Like, I was the king of self-destruction, where it was like, and I see it in other people. That's why it bothers me sometimes. It's like
all across the board, or
no, I just was like it's just a small idea. Like, if I was like in a relationship with a woman or something, and she upset me or told me not to do something, I'd just be like, it's over. I put a match to it, and I talk to her and break up with her, because I didn't want to hear her tell me what to do or how to do things, which was trying to help me. And the same thing with like that. It was just like, as soon as they told me like they don't like something, I'd be like, okay, and I just like go away.
I guess it's the way we present it, because I know a lot of men like that too.
Yeah.
But
I realized,
and we do it too. You come at us and we sort of put up certain walls, or at times quick to be like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And I used to like do it in like different things too, like just like mostly just like, as soon as something got hard, I would run away from it. And then it was hard for me to connect to people, like, because I wasn't like opening up mostly in my relationships with people, because it was only once they got too close
Men
to
and
me.
women.
Yeah.
That's how I am.
And only when they got too close to me, they started seeing the cracks in like my game and the things
Mhm.
in my life, and they'd be
Mhm.
like, "Wait, I don't like. Why are you doing this?" And it'd be like, "Okay."
And yet there lies the beauty of you being imperfect.
Right.
Like, I would think, looking in at me from the outside, like all the stuff that where you just said cracks and this and that, for a man to get to see is probably so fun. Where my initial instinct is like, oh wait, you're getting a little too close. Back off, you know.
And that was my thing too. Like,
I'm
you're
gonna go
getting
eat a pizza.
exactly like that was my thing too. Like, you're getting too close, and I don't want to even stop these destructive ways that I was just doing.
Right. That's
like,
exactly it.
It's like you have, and it's like if that person loves you, they'll stick around, and
Right.
they only want the best for you.
Right.
So my thing was just relationships with women and like getting to the next level, because I feel like I was self-destructing. And then same with family. Like once they started telling me things I didn't want to hear, I just like ignore them, block their numbers, and I just realized it's just childish. And I just like I need enough, and I stopped. I just didn't do it after a while. So that's how I was self-destructing.
That makes I mean
Yeah.
I hear you. And it's interesting that in conversation, even just listening to people, it's really hard sometimes for people to listen and take it in.
Right.
Where I would rather sit and with men, depending if they're narcissists or not,
Right.
really just listen and hear it and feel it. Like, I'm in this place of, I might feel too much, and then I have to like bring it up.
That's natural, because all women feel too much. Like, yeah, my girlfriend, like one little thing happens, she'll just cry for a while, and I'll be like,
I'm not the person that cries over like.
And it's like, okay, like.
No, I'm not that kind of woman. Like you, the paint color, or the this or the that. I'm talking. Yeah, I mean, like to my core. Like when I walked into like, how are you? I'm like, I'm not. My heart's fucking heavy.
Right.
Excuse me, I'm swearing, but I feel a lot, and it sometimes is very overwhelming when I do want to just turn to the escape through a pizza, because I'm sober.
I think that's what it is. What I'm doing, like. I'm escaping through food. It's like, and I watched this documentary last night with Marlon Brando. Do you know the actor Marlon Brando? Of course. That's what.
Remember, I'm 46.
Yeah, that's what his thing was. Like, that's like some people do alcohol, some people do drugs. His was food, so it was like, I think in a way that's mine too at the moment. Like, but it's ironic that my girlfriend says that to me, because I was with her father on her birthday, and he was telling me the same thing. Like, she does that, so it's like
he uses food.
Yeah, so it's funny how like things are. Like sometimes I think one thing I have to deal with is like it's easy to see other people's like flaws, but you never look in the mirror sometimes.
Right.
And I mean, that's what's been my thing. Like I never.
I think you can only see in others what you truly possess in yourself.
Right.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to necessarily see it.
Right.
So you pick it up because it's right there.
Are you single right now?
Yeah. I've been single, so I got sober 7 years ago in December.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So about 6 months before that, I broke up my last relationship. We broke up, and I've been really single ever since. I mean, if you think about like 7 years, that's a long time for not having a relationship. But if you
Mine's just 10. That's why I was saying earlier, like when I put a match to everything, like the metaphor is like when it got too hard, I just like put a match, burned the whole thing down and left.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I meant. Like I just, as soon as it was getting a little hard, and the woman confronted me. So like I had like breaks in the last 10 years. You know, it was just because of lack of loving myself enough, and like just that's why self-love is so important to me. Because if you love yourself enough, you deserve good things, and you deserve the right people. And if you have the right people and they love themselves enough, they don't stand for someone in their lives that they feel like shouldn't treat them like that, or they shouldn't even treat themselves like that. And so that's why I think it's so important. And I didn't have any like real relationships, because it was like as soon as it got hard, I would just like leave it because I didn't want to change.
Right.
So
right.
That's.
I mean, me too. So in my addiction, which was 7 years ago, it was easy for me to get into relationships and even a marriage and having kids, but I had alcohol to soothe me.
I had alcohol problems too a while too, and I started like not wanting to like leave that alone either. So it was like when I got one girlfriend now, she was just like, "Yo, I don't want like for us to drink anymore. That's one of the things I don't want." We didn't do that, so it's like I guess she's been making me so much better because
You're allowing her
right.
help you make those choices to be better.
Yeah.
She can't do anything for you.
Exactly, but it's like my love for her
Mm-hmm.
makes me want to better myself.
And that's the beauty. That's it. That's a beautiful thing.
Because I feel like if you find someone worth fighting for, you'll fight for them.
You know, so that's true. And some people have a fear of that. But it's even. So I am on dating apps, and it's interesting.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
It's so overwhelming and not fun, but I believe in the number game and that someone's out there.
No, for sure. You gotta put yourself out there too.
And I know a lot of people who've had success, real great success at it. So, but we, again, like what we were just saying, you see things through your eyes and what you possess. So there are times where when I come from, let's say, the heavy heart place and I'm looking through, I see these men differently than when if I've just exercised or did a meditation or come from this really open space of this free-flowing, energy. And the men that I choose or swipe on are completely different. So if you think about it in a way of where you are in every moment of life and what it is you're sort of feeding into in your mind or your energy, that's who you're choosing.
Right.
So people are always thinking, oh, this, dating this and that. It's a really sort of complex, interesting game that we're playing. I mean, I don't mean game in the sense that someone wins or loses, but, well, yeah, maybe.
Oh, it is like that.
Yeah, that's a whole topic on itself, and it's fascinating to me.
But a lot of that has to do with my next question was like, what does self-love mean to you?
Oh. So I think, one, my sobriety is at the top of it. Without that, I wouldn't be who I am today, which is this integral, humble, outspoken woman. Which, by the way, thank you for asking me to be here.
You're welcome. And
not even knowing that my dad is Vidal Sassoon.
Right, that's funny. When you said that to me, I did get a little like...
No, you have to understand. I love that happened because I'm always either Vidal's daughter or I've done this,
that's
this, or
this.
this.
That's crazy to even be like under that, like grow up under that.
So you came to me because you felt me.
No, because
or
I was
you
looking
saw
at
something.
your page and you had so many like things you were like, it was just like you're fighting for all these causes that you believe strongly in and you're taking yourself
we haven't
serious.
gotten into those.
Right, and I respected that. So I just saw you as this like woman that like stood for something and was speaking what you wanted to speak, and it was like awesome. I didn't know.
No, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter, and that's the fact that happened, really happened, real to me is everything.
Right.
It actually filled my heart from being so heavy. You lifted it a little.
Really?
Because you saw me. You didn't see like,
right. No, how did that even go? How couldn't you even figure?
Something was going on, and then it doesn't matter. You obviously we found each other, read things, and then you didn't click. And you're at a certain age where why would it to you necessarily?
Yeah, but now that I know that I did look at you a little different. Like, oh,
see,
now I get to see like
that's so interesting.
No, well, it's like, what the hell? It's not like it's like an iconic person and brand. That's not like
so
a regular thing you just said.
Okay, as a man, granted, you have a girlfriend. Let's talk about this for a minute because it just happened. And we'll go back to self-love. So I was hanging out with a wonderful species of a man, very good looking. We had fun, chemistry, everything, and simple. Nothing was like overstepping boundaries. He saw a photo at my house of my dad and the Queen, and he was like, "That's the Queen. Who's this man?" I'm like, "Oh, it's my dad."
He didn't know.
And he's English. No, he didn't know. Like, he didn't know.
He didn't quickly.
Yep.
Because then all that goes into your head, like.
What though?
But your
he totally ruined the whole thing.
No, because it's like your experience of life and like how things must have been for you. Because it's not normal.
But I'm not. But what's normal? Like I feel
normal
like I'm
the
same as everyone.
No, but your experience had like things you've gone through.
Yes.
It's not like what the common person went through. Like, let's say if your dad's a firefighter, you're not going to go through those things.
But at the core of who we are, right? I might have had different
experiences.
take it different
like
places.
we are like our experiences in life. Like I'm not the same person I was before I started this brand. Before I started this brand, I was just like not the same person. Now I'm a completely different person through my experiences. So it was like
yes,
your
you're right. And you know
different.
what? Hearing that actually makes me feel better. But I don't know that it should put someone off unless they have not enough self-love for themselves that they feel that.
Wait, it put the guy you're dating off?
Yeah, you sort of got this. I think so. No, really, and we then went to dinner, and it was not that same. Really, just fun. It was pure. The conversation was going, and he had like a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. A little ego was coming out. The whole thing just, whew. And we still talk, and I kind of just want to be like,
that's strange. I would think
you're an idiot.
That's strange. I would think he'd want to like you more, or be like, "Whoa, that's awesome," and it made him more like insecure.
Yeah. Well, I think he has an interesting way of living. He's Australian, but he comes here and he lives with certain people, and then he kind of lives and works their lifestyle, and then he leaves and then he comes back. So I think that he might not have felt enough for me in certain ways. I don't know, but it was really awkward. So I appreciate you being honest.
Right.
Right. Self-love. Let's go back to that. Self-love. So to me, okay, so there are times in life where I'm like, God, what makes me feel good? I love my morning coffee. It's part of self-love. I love my hot baths. Yeah. I love working out. I love being in that heightened state of awareness in your body and your blood and your heart's pumping. Dopamine's going. Like, I love it. Mm-hmm. So when I don't do it, I'm self-loathing, right? Or I love going to meditation, and when I'm in that state of calm and peace, I'm settled. I mean, and even if it's 5 minutes out of a day that you get to be settled, that's amazing. And we only can hope for 20 and 30 and 40 and an hour and 2 hours when we're not, running around going nowhere. And so all these things that just I find peace in would be self-love.
Exactly. That's really what it is.
But taming the brain to stop the beat down on myself,
Where do you think that comes in?
As a child, I think, as much as my dad loved me, because it really is more with men, the male-female role in a relationship than, and not friends, more of a attraction-based, I'm not good enough. Not that my dad was that to me, but he was the only male in my life that could point the finger and judge. And as a child, I didn't know better or to rearrange his thought process to make myself feel better. I just thought that I was flat out like, oh, you're going to Fat Farm because you're overweight, so I'm going to send you.
Oh, you went to that?
Yeah, he sent us to my brother and I to Weight Watchers. And I don't blame him, but there was a lot. Yeah, it was heavy.
I don't know whether I would say that as a parent that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I haven't been in that position as a parent, but I'm putting myself in that position when I realized I was gaining a lot of weight. I decided that I wanted to do it for me because I didn't love this person. Right. And if my parents did, I'd feel attacked. Like, what? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? And so I would take that out on my parents. So it's a situation It
is, and this is why being a parent is so interesting. I'm still learning to love myself. I still have a mother who you have that certain relationship, and as they get older, you get wiser, they become younger, and then you got these two littles that you're trying to, so you're emotionally all over the place thinking, holy, what is love still? Right. What is self-love? How do if I'm learning self-love on myself, how do I teach this besides acting as is to my children? And they don't hear it. And then you kind of I can't do what my father did to me. And I think I said, I did. One day I said to my son, or I'll talk like if, someone has a little acne, I'll be like, have you been washing your face? I'm like, oh, don't. That's my way of my skin issues and being perfect, or the idea of what that it means. And, well, that's a topic that we should talk about. Or my son, he's now growing, and for a minute there he stops growing, so he was eating more.
Where you want to help your children, but then you don't want to push them away or offend them.
But where's the boundary, Or are you coming from a place of, look, I love you. hey, why don't we go work out?
I don't know. As I'm growing up, I have issues with that too as a child, and I wish, you know what, that they did get on top of me more. Like,
because you can look back and say it, but
yeah,
oh, did they or did they not?
they
They
did not.
didn't.
I was
Okay.
like the black sheep in my family. That was always like, he's not really gonna amount to nothing. Let's not
Right.
focus so much on this one. Let's focus more on this one. And then as I started the brand, like I was like 27, I realized that, you know, parents, they're still just human
They're
beings.
exactly.
And they're just like everyone else. You can't like think they're superheroes. And I started to see the shift, like, wait, more focus became on me as their child. That's like, wait, he's more the one that's like
Making changes.
exactly
Yeah.
like he's the one that like friends and family are contacting us about. Maybe we should focus on him more. He's doing good. So I realized.
I think it's just love in general and like opening your heart to not who's doing good, but in action and you growing or changing yourself. I think on a deeper level, not stuff that we can things or possessions or
right. But what I was trying to say is like as they started seeing more potential in me, they focused on me and then they helped me excel. Because I wouldn't have been to this point in my life without their help. They really were the backbone of my brand, like helping me. Like my dad was always there, like, hey, do you need help with this? Like, hey, do you need me to invest in your idea, invest in this? And I was always like, yeah, Dad, can you like? And my mom would also invest in it. And within 7 years, I've gone pretty far. And so it was kind of like, to answer your question, when you're like, you see your son, like, oh, we don't eat that. Or I think from my perspective, I wish they were on top of me from way at a big earlier age, because I'm the type that like excels under pressure. Like the more they were on top of me, I would have been like, just excel instead of then the other way where it's like, but a lot of people break under pressure. Like, have you seen that movie with Al Pacino and like, who was it? It was Al Pacino and like Keanu Reeves, a devil's advocate.
Oh gosh, yes.
And then he was like, when you get squeezed, you either focus or break. It is the two. And I was always the type that like focus. So.
I'm like you. I focus under pressure.
Yeah. So I wish my parents were.
But so being that person and having kids, almost doing what my dad did to me to them, it's making them maybe be.
Right, because you don't know who you're. I'm only speaking on my perspective. Like, if they were way more on top of me, like knocking on my door, just staying on top of me, I would have excelled faster. But some people don't. Like I've heard stories. Exactly. And even to this day, like as my old brand and my campaign, the bullying, all the school assemblies, they started getting to like moments that were like, I need to accelerate. Their pressure made me accelerate. Like, so it was kind of like I worked good under that pressure, but some people don't. So it's like really.
Well, these are talking about bullying. These are some of the kids who most likely, would be the school shooters or.
Exactly, and that's a very dangerous thing too. Like a lot of these school shooters or whatnot, they're like just holding all this in, and then they just come out and shooting. So I don't even think it's their fault. It's just they need. Well, obviously, because they're doing that, but it's like they.
Well, today's mental health.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's bullying awareness too.
Oh, it's both of them. So how perfect is that?
Yeah.
And it's so running rampant. It's like more so than ever.
I don't know. I think we grew up during the same era, and it was like
I don't know.
Really? It was like 34, 40. It was during but I was in that era where it wasn't like social media. There's like we barely had like I think it was like a pager is when it started coming.
Computers came out when I was a senior in high school.
So I was like, what was I gonna get to? Oh, I just lost my train.
There's too much information coming at us at all times. I mean, and it's overwhelming. And so whether addiction to food, alcohol, drug, whatever it may be, or not.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. That whole mental health and all this. When I look back on it, I think everyone has a form of it.
100%.
But no one's bringing it up. Like now, it's like hypersensitive. Like everyone's talking about it all the time.
Because I think it's. The actual is hypersensitive. It's grown within everybody immensely.
Exactly. I think social media, like, if you're using it in a way, like, I like how you're using it on your platform to bring awareness to all these subjects. I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Look how we connected off the internet. Look, it's like if you're using it to do good, it's good, but I feel like it does a lot of harm for a lot of people.
Well,
and
it's
that's why
interesting.
it's messing up everyone's heads.
I think, well, yeah, and as if you're young and you're not, more self-aware, like as you evolve and grow, you can kind of weed some of that out. But I think for the kids, it can be harder. Definitely for us. Or although I had a thought today, I was thinking, because I shared a post about an overdose.
Right, I saw that. I'm sorry.
And it just, and I don't know him. He's just part of my family.
I felt like you
He was my friend's, the guy I dated, and still am very friendly with, his best friend. And it just tore me apart. And so I went through this young man's page, and I just got the sense of his life and who he was. And I can't. His last post was 6 days ago, and 7 days from then, he's gone. How does that happen? And it's happening everywhere. And then not even just that, but people who don't even have access to social media. If you just the amount of homelessness that's going on, and that's not about being homeless. It's really this mental health issue. And it all ties in. Everything we've talked about thus far ties into the bullying as well. It's all just one sort of energy. It comes from this place of, I don't even know, actually. I don't even know the word to describe it.
I think I know some of the answers. I think it has a lot to do with the people you keep around you. If you keep around the right people around you, you feel good. And if you keep the wrong people around you, that's the energy that
Yes, and we can say that at our age. But when you're talking about, and when you're telling a kid that, one, they don't necessarily want to hear it.
It's too advanced.
And and they're thinking, you're out of your mind.
Yeah,
I mean, my kids think, like, you should hear what they say about me.
I'll tell you why I think that's that part right there. When I was in high school, I was just hanging out with the kids that were bullying me, stealing my pager, and literally beating me up because I thought they were cool. When I had friends that were like really nice and were always like, oh, let's hang out. And
you want to go with the cool kids.
Exactly. So no matter how much you tell them, like, that's not the right energy you want to keep. Like, they don't understand that. So you're right. They're not gonna. I'd look at them like, these aren't the ones with the nice clothes and the girlfriends and like varsity basketball players.
See,
I want those people in my life. So
then you take it a step further
kids
back.
is a different animal.
But where do they get this idea of what's cool and what's not cool?
Because you're at school and you're seeing it. Like it even at school, it had that social norm. Like, this is where the cool people hang out.
Well, I'll tell you the problem.
And you don't go hang out over there, and you're not allowed to be over here unless someone knows you over here.
Yeah, that's happening in high school now. She's like, oh, the freshmen don't do this and this. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's like
you do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, it's not. It's like strange like that.
And it's not. It's uncomfortable. I think that education has just stayed the same, but the social rules are so much more like who's who and what's what.
It's more like that now because also now isn't it like who has this many followers and who's like popping on the internet? So it's like
that's one thing I haven't wrapped my mind around is these social influencers who are saying nothing, absolutely nothing. And my son was trying to buy a sweatshirt, and there were 200,000 people within the first 5 minutes buying the sweatshirt from this YouTube kid.
Because it's kind of like, I saw this whole thing about that. It's because once they get that, now they have a piece of that. They're a part of that. It's like,
but what?
It's because it's like when they go to school and they see like a brand.
I get it. Yeah. It's the same idea.
It's like, well, you're wearing that like
Gucci or Prada.
It's like a statement. Like it's like a statement of like.
Well, then these brands better stand for something and represent something positive.
That's why
there has to be a shift at some point in what you're doing.
That's why it's like I try to do where it's like I'm getting like influencer to come and talk about it, and I have a lot of people come on like, wow, I saw that one influencer on there. That was so awesome. So it's like I'm trying to use the platform and get everyone on for a good, like, spread a good message.
Yeah.
Rather than, because at the end, they're just doing that because it's like, it's all like, you want to follow the pack. Like, if everyone's like, if you have that sweater that influencer's talking about, then you're going to be the person everyone's going to talk about you. So it really comes down to that simple type of thing. Like, I just want it because I want the validation of they want that validation of their friends being like, you got that sweater, you're cool now. It's like
that goes back to self-love. And self-love doesn't matter what you think, right?
But I guess these kids, man, they're not at that age where they understand, like, this is who I am.
Well, don't get us wrong. There's many adults and women my age who are still letting other women judge what they have or who they are, and they're cool or not.
That's why self-love is so powerful, because if you love yourself enough, you just...
But I stand for myself, and I stand for many, many, many others, and I speak, as that. And yet I'll go and still have so many emotions and feelings, and not that I don't love myself with my relationship with food. It's almost like I just have to change the idea and the thought around it instead of us fighting all the time. How about you have a loving relationship, and you're going to take a little more from that, and then they're going to take a little more from you, and then you bring in the treadmill, and that's going to take a little other energy. It's like this working relationship. But no, it's in my mind saying no. It's this battle. It doesn't have to be that. But I think when you stand for or represent, I don't want to say kind of the underdog, or what people. I'll use my kids as an example. Look at me, Mom. Why do you always talk about, breast implant illness? Because it's huge, and women suffer, and they don't have the voice or the wherewithal to talk about it.
Right.
And so I will, because I've gone through that. Or some sober people, they're not or can't express themselves, or don't believe they should be out there talking about it. Well, so I will, because I've been through that.
Where did you get the strength to finally just do all this? I find it really awesome that you're doing that. Like, that's a form of what I'm doing. Where it's like, I got bullied, and I'm not scared to talk about it. I'm not scared to say exactly why. I'm not scared of it. And because of that, I think I found the strength to do it. So I see that in you too, that you're doing that. It's like, it's awesome.
It feels empowering. It feels that that's my purpose. That's why I'm here, is to sort of gap with the what is and the what can be, or I said that wrong, but the what is being people who sort of fall to the wayside, or can't necessarily just step into their true selves as higher beings. And then there's the side of, hey, guess what's over here? And so I kind of stand as this, hey, let's shift this. And it can be that easy, because I had to do that, just like, I had to find that voice within. And I took many different routes to get here. And it's been incredible, and I do use it. But I'll also break down, and I'll also feel things, and I'll also push people away, and I'll also overeat, and I'll over-exercise, and I'll lust and crave love, and I won't get it, and I'll use it in a different way. I mean, I do it all, and I'll still say, hey, at the end of the day, I had a facelift in January, and I shared every single day on social media, because women deserve to know. Because women in certain parts of the world think that some women just look like that. Well, guess what? I'm 46, and I don't just look like I'm, that my skin is pulled to perfectly without having. I just think it's really important to be honest.
Big time.
Yeah.
But it comes from a place of strength. It's very hard for people to do what you're doing, where it's like, this is who I am, unapologetic, and this is what I stand for. It comes from a lot of confidence and believing in yourself. So
true, but I think it's also confronting my weakness and being like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This is who I am. This is real. And then you're right. Then there lies some strength to that.
The only reason I'm saying that is because when I first was like, I'm going to do this brand, I got a lot of self-esteem, a lot of confidence through social media, because it was when Facebook was kind of popping. And I had all these friends on there, and all these people liking it and commenting, and it gave me this energy. And then when I started this brand, I started with a group of people, and they were, so it was I had this big foundation. I was I felt strong enough to be I'm gonna go and be vulnerable on the internet and tell everyone I got bullied. So through all these people behind me, I felt stronger, and that's kind of
I mean,
what made me vulnerable. Okay,
yes.
You know what?
You were able to open it up. You were supported.
Exactly. That's why I think social media is such an awesome platform, because if you use it in the right way, it's a very powerful thing. But
you know what I thought about today? Okay, so let's say we're dying, which we are. Okay, but we're dying faster, and we never know. This is just my crazy mind.
No, we are. I understand.
Right, and so
we're meant not to believe.
Right, but so you're only as good as your last post. And so was your last post a selfie saying, look at me, and I'm this, and I'm that, and and you're out? Or was your last post talking about someone else and sharing something, or talking about an organization, or being vulnerable in the truth, and really making people look at that and be like, whoa, I resonate with that? you know, and you see both sides out there, and I think like, whew, there's a lot to learn, and it's almost like you there are times where people like to, for some reason, see photos of me, but I'll never sort of make that paragraph something that doesn't hit you in your gut.
Right.
I'll turn the idea of you looking at a photo of me because some reason your eyes are thinking, or the shallowness of it all. Oh, she's pretty, or she's wearing this, or all the BS that we go through, the mask, you know. But I'm going to take that and turn it into what's underneath that mask and hit you right in your gut to be like, shit, she's not kidding. You know,
but it's like you're using your platform for such a good thing. That's why it's awesome. You know,
I
like
try to just.
It's like you're at that position where you can do it, so it's awesome.
And I only want to grow from that place. So if the rest I don't care about. You know, if you lose, you gain, you this, you that. Like they need to resonate with me, or if someone wants to hear or feel or open. Just the reason why I think that we hopefully follow other people. I mean, I've really tried to take away all the shallowness or stuff out of my world because it's so easy just to mask up. You know?
Exactly. It's really easy to do that. I was going to ask you, I would love to hear you touch on the whole like breast and like implant thing. Like I know you're really passionate about that whole thing. What's the whole thing?
Well, women are getting really, really, really ill, and there's recalls on
There's
bags, both. So the bag that carries the saline in it, you know, has certain bacteria, blah, blah, blah. The longer it's in you, different bodies obviously react in different ways. And I think that because of the financial gain involved, it's never been talked about behind the scenes. And so when we go in thinking like, I want to look like that, and it's so easy to do. I want that hair color. Can you make my eyebrows and my eyelashes look like this? Or are we living in a Kardashian, if I can excuse my, like, world? You know, you see people walking around and they look like, what's going on?
They just want the validation from the norm. It's everyone's just trying to like get, like, they're just trying to fit in.
Right, because of magazines, TV, everything, there's a certain way that we had to look. And so when I was, you know, young and I saw my mom and my sister had bigger breasts and I was flat and awkward looking and I took my long hair and cover it all the time, cover my breasts, it was okay. I mean, there was nothing that was going to stop me from getting these implants as long as my father was willing to pay for them. And I asked my doctor, if I was your daughter, would you let me do it? He said yes, but I would go natural. So he made me a very natural, and yet he made me sign my life away. I was part of the silicone test. I had no idea, nor did I care. And I think that now, because women are getting ill, and there's so many different illnesses that are involved with this, and the worst being, you know, cancer, they're taking out their implants, and all these illnesses are going away. And so I think it's really, and it's so fascinating. Some women are like, I'm not ready to let them go because I'm not going to be the woman that I am. I'm like, oh, so your breasts define you?
Right.
I get it. I was there. There's many levels in this situation, and one that I'm really interested in now because we just recently did the doctors, so they're really starting to open up this conversation. And there are hundreds of thousands of women that are getting ill and taking them out, and it's a big thing, and I'm not quiet about it. And many of my friends have recently been taking them out. One just yesterday. Yeah, Eden Alpert, she's ready to come out big and talk. But I met a woman who was a sponsor on a show that I was working on, and she said, you know, I really came because I wanted to meet you. And I had a double, it was so beautiful. She said, I had a double mastectomy, and I'm getting my implants out in December. And so I just held her.
Exactly. That's exactly why I liked your feed, and when I was looking at it, it's like you're making a difference and you're touching people. It's like a positive impact. So
I try to just get
great about that.
I do. I really do because I have to be. I want to be that voice. And if at the end of the day,
it's not like you want it, you are doing it.
But I want to continue. You know those days where you're just like, oh, this is exhausting. Right. And it's not that this is exhausting. It's the energy that it takes to really stand for everything. Like really just stand and be present and then deal with my demons, like the food, you know. Like at the end of the day, of course I want to just feel good. Well, what makes you feel good? Oh, well, of course the donut's going to make me feel good.
Oh my God. Donut King too.
Oh, see?
Donut.
He's like one of us.
I really am though.
Oh, we really understand. You're coming on our show, okay?
Yeah.
It's all about this.
Is it?
Yeah. Because it's not just women, it's men, it's kids.
No, it's that's why it's like women are easier to talk about. Like they come out and talk about. I think men, it's like one of those things. Like even when I was growing up with like guy friends, it was like we wouldn't just sit down and talk about our problems. It would be like, here's a beer. Yeah, it's like here's a beer, and just like I like someone will come and like tap me on the shoulder, like it's all good, man. Like
yes,
exactly. Like, here's a beer. Like even if we got like in a big fight, even like my sister's husband, like I've had instances we got in scuffles and then I was at his house and he would just look at me and we'd be like, oh, that's cool. Like we wouldn't want to sit there and talk about it. And if we had that eye contact, we'd be like, yeah, man, this is like let's get it now. Like we don't have to talk about what just happened. Like, here's a beer.
Next time you promise me, you're gonna be like, dude, come over here. Let's sit down and let's talk.
I've been trying to do that more. That's
good.
Thing. Like even talking to my sister's husband recently about like our past and what we had. And I feel like we came to like some better understanding of each other than doing the like, what's up?
Yeah, of course.
It's harder for guys to do that.
Well, because you've been conditioned, or you're not as emotional, which is kind of crap. Than what as women, and we've been taught to talk about everything.
Exactly.
But I mean, I don't like to talk about everything unless that something means something, because otherwise I'm just like, please shut up. It's wasted noise. But I think that men, it's a beautiful thing. I can't remember what Soul something. There's a group of men that really get together and they do these. I'll find it and pass it to you on Instagram. Oh, you should get him on here. So powerful. And the tears and the hugs and the what's coming out and the movement, and they do all this sort of therapeutic stuff, not just therapeutic, but healing stuff with men, and it's only men. Oh my God, it's amazing.
That's like breaking.
Maybe that's where my husband is.
Exactly. That's like breaking social norms.
It's amazing. Right. Wait till I send it to you. And then you just see them. I'm talking like 6'4", good-looking hunk men that are just crying and letting it all out and hugging each other. It's beautiful. Oh my God, you're like, I'm overwhelmed. That's too much.
It's like already. It's like I do my best friends. I don't know. I sound best friend sounds childish, but I do have like one friend that I talk to every day. His name is Donovan, and I was talking to him right before you got here. I guess I talked to him about my feelings.
Yes, I did. So yeah.
But I feel like this podcast is kind of coming to like an end, and I always ask everyone the last question, which is going to be, what advice would you want to give to anyone that's, if they're even getting bullied or they feel depressed or alone, what would be your advice to them? What helped you in your times where you felt like really sad in life?
Well, it's different when I was younger than where I'm at today. So I think if I were to speak to the younger girl and everyone out there who's feeling certain things, it's really sort of, one, we're not alone. We're really not alone. And if you could just step outside for a moment to ask for help or find help or go to a meeting or go to meditation or go to the gym and work out or something that's going to do a little bit to make you feel better, or reaching out to one person that might know another person, or sort of like a safety line, or start journaling. Start getting in touch with really what you're feeling, and if some people can't handle that alone, then that's where that group setting comes in, and you need support. And there's nothing wrong with that. I know sometimes I'm like, I've got this, I can do it all. And Jess is like, would it be easier if I just kind of texted you and being like, stop hiding in your room and get the hell out of the house and let's do da-da-da-da-da. Because I tend to be like, no, I'm cool, I'm going to do all this and then I'm going to just be antisocial, and that's not who I am, but I'm just sort of saving. But when people are hurting that bad or struggling, I would be the first to pick up the phone. Or somebody knows that someone's hurting, get there, call, show up. But like, how do I know that the young man that isn't my friend directly, but that there was a moment in time that someone could have reached out? I don't know. My sister. So I guess be loud, be open, make someone hear you, be visible, you know, depending on, not depending on the severity of it. In life. No one who changed this world was the guy sitting in the corner who's quiet. Well, maybe nowadays because it's technology.
Right.
But, you know, the Gandhis, the Mandelas, and the Martin Luther Kings, they made some earth move.
Right, exactly. Wow, I thought that was awesome. You said, but it was awesome.
You're just. I love that you're raw and real and
I try to
super in touch with your male feminine side, because don't lose that.
Thanks.
And you know what? When you and your girlfriend and marriage and kids, this is what you teach your son,
Right.
and you continue to pay it forward.
Right. Thank you. It was awesome having you on.